Hello, I'm Femi Okay, and you're in the stream. Today, we speak with a Nigerian senator who not only supports child marriage, but also has an underage wife. Digital producer Malika Bilal is here looking out for your live feedback. Hello, Malika.
Hi,
and
Femi.
Hello, Nigeria. This is a classic case of us doing a Nigeria story on the stream. We always know there's going to be a big reaction.
And there has been already. We've already got nearly 800 comments on today's web piece about this. Now, this is also a classic case of how the stream works. So this started off with a flurry of tweets from Nigerians that look a little something like this one. AJ Stream, follow this trend, child not bride Nigeria. It turned into a web piece and a lead segment. And today we're continuing the discussion with a perfect panel of guests, and we want to involve you at home. So join the conversation with hashtag AJ Stream.
And remember, if you want to take part in our next show, follow the stream on Twitter and we'll keep you updated. Just go to twitter.com/AJ Stream. Now check out some of the hashtags our community is following. Worldwide, the United Nations claims that more than 14 million girls under the age of 18 are married each year. That's 39,000 every day. And now a recent debate over the issue has polarized Nigeria once again. It began when Senator Ahmad Yarima fought to uphold a clause in the constitution that says that all married women are full age, including those under 18. Here he is speaking at Nigeria's National Assembly during the July vote.
And by Islamic law, any woman that is married, she's of age. So if you now say she's not of age, then it means that you are going against Islamic law.
Senator Yarima managed to prevent the National Assembly from reaching the 2/3 majority needed to define the maturity age of a woman as 18. Many saw this as an endorsement of not only child marriage, but of his own underage wife, who he married in 2010 when she was 14. Now, although Nigeria adopted the Child Rights Act in 2003, which protects minors from underage marriage, 13 out of 36 states have yet to implement it. Joining us to discuss this is from Abuja, Senator Ahmad Yarima himself. Welcome to the stream, Senator. It's good to have you. And also with us is Stella Damasus. She's a Nigerian actress and singer. She's been very critical of the senator and child marriage. And in our Google Plus Hangout, we have Ishaq Akintola. He's a professor at Lagos State University. He shares Senator Yarima's beliefs on Islam and child marriage. And in Cambridge, Massachusetts, it's Aminu Gamara. He is a coordinator at the Harvard Law School Graduate Forum. It's great to have all of you in the stream. Let me start with the senator in Abuja, Nigeria. There is a delay of about 5 seconds, so you might hear a little bit of a gap before he replies. But Senator, the rest of the world don't know you as well as Nigeria knows you. So I want to ask you a few personal questions just to put your opinions in some kind of perspective. So first of all, do you mind sharing with us how many wives that you have?
I have 4 wives.
And can you tell us their ages, the age that you married your first wife, your second, your third, and then finally your fourth?
Well, I cannot be able to tell you how old they were when I married them, but I want to tell you that 2 of them have completed their education. One was a medical doctor when I got married to her, and one has completed her secondary school education and continued. Now she has acquired the National Certificate of Education, NCE. And the last one was married at 14. The one you just referred to that I married from Egypt.
So when you married your fourth wife when she was 14, how did you get to know her? How did you know that she was going to be your next wife?
Well, I traveled to Cairo, Egypt, And through a friend, I was able to see her in her family house. And I didn't go to marry her. I went to see another girl. But when I saw her, she was fully matured, and I didn't bother to ask of the age, because it's not a requirement in Islamic law. So I spoke to the parents, and they agreed, and the marriage was conducted in Abuja under the supervision of the Sharia Court of Appeal of Nigeria.
What qualities did you find in her that made you think that she would be a great wife for you?
Of course, Islam is under Islamic law. There are so many qualities you look at. One is beauty, one is religion, one is so many other qualities. But I want to assure you that the most important quality that attracted my attention is her religion. The girl has memorized 40 hizb, that's chapter of Quran, and that enticed me a lot.
So you were attracted to her, you found her appealing. What are her feelings towards you? Did she share them with you?
Yeah, fantastic. You see, we have, she's now getting to 18, and we have a very beautiful child. His name is Ibrahim. And we are happily living together in peace.
So your youngest wife is the same age or even younger than some of your children. So how do you relate to your young wife and then your children? What's the difference between the way you relate?
There is no difference. You see, it's a child, your children are your children, and your wife is your wife. You see, as I said, once a girl is matured, she reached the age of puberty, under Islamic law, she's a perfect matured woman. And going by scientific revelation, any woman who is even more than 25, 30 years of age cannot be compared with behavior of men.
And Senator, I just want to understand what you mean by scientific revelation. That's not a phrase that I hear very often. What do you mean?
Yeah. What I mean is that a man is not equal to a woman in all senses of natural build-up. The psychology, the physics, the structure and nature of human beings are different. But whether human beings or animals, you cannot compare a man and a woman.
Well, Senator, many of our community members are upset, and a lot of what they're talking about and sharing with us is the issue of maturity and what makes one mature. Now, the number one question that we receive from our community members is in the form of a video question. Have a listen to this.
Hello, my name is Albethel Gabrahiwitz, and I have a question for Ahmad Yarima. I don't know if you have any daughters, but if you do, will you give away your 13-year-old daughter in marriage to a 53-year-old man who's actually the same age as you or even older? Thank you.
Senator, your response to that?
Yes, you see, if the girl is attracted by the man and I ask for her opinion and she's okay, I give her out. You see, what people should understand is that there are important differences in life. Most important of which is religion. If you don't have a belief, you don't see anything good in what another person believes in. A Muslim girl or woman, a Muslim man or boy, knows about the principles and practice of Islam. Sharia law is codified. It is a written law. It's not like other conventional laws that are based on human thinking and ideas. We have a constitution called Holy Quran, and we have the teachings and practice of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which is hadith.
So, Senator, you've laid out
books.
your points very clearly. I just wanted our international audience to hear your perspective and also your personal circumstance. So, Aminu, I know you've been listening to this, and Stella as well. Aminu, let me go to you first of all.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this conversation. I think it is long overdue, and there are a lot of miscommunication, misperception, and misrepresentation around this debate. I am sorry to say that this debate should be about Charlie and early marriage, not about Senator Yarima. Senator Yarima is a politician and an economist. He's neither an Islamic scholar nor a scientist. So whatever he shares with us here are his own personal views and understanding of Islam, which does not necessarily reflect the majority of all Nigerians. I am a Muslim. I'm not only a Muslim, I'm a lawyer and I have a degree in Sharia. So when I speak from an informed position. I don't think that the issue of age of marriage is Senator Yarima is simplifying it. It is rather unfortunate that both sides who are either against Yarima or supporting Yarima have actually derailed our attention from the main issues, which are what are the health, what are the social, and what are the economic implications of early marriage. Is it really a problem? And if it is a problem, how do we solve that problem? There are many countries, Muslim majority countries like Yemen, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and the rest, who have a regulated age of marriage. They stipulated 18 as the minimum age of marriage. Not that they are not Muslims, not that they don't understand Islam, but because their own understanding of Islam is geared towards the promotion and development of Ummah in general. Go to the community that Senator Yarima is representing. He is just representing a particular senatorial district in Zamfara State.
Right.
Just last week, the Daily Trust newspaper reported that there are over 1 million out-of-school children in Zamfara State alone. In the northern Nigeria and in Nigeria generally, because we are faced with this problem, and there's no way we can solve this problem, which is a very important problem that needs to be addressed as long as we want to develop as a country.
Okay, I'm going to take a pause for a moment because I need to share the conversation a little bit with some of our other guests, but thank you for getting that conversation rolling. Silla, the reason why we wanted to speak to the Senator was because he wasn't an odd view. He doesn't have an odd viewpoint. There are many parts of Nigeria where early marriage actually takes place. What is your main argument about it? How do you make it make sense for Nigerians and people watching and to see what's happening in Nigeria?
Me?
Yes, Stella.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, thank you for this. First of all, I need to make something clear before we continue this conversation, and that is telling the whole world that Nigeria is not, I repeat, is not an Islamic state. It is not an Islamic country. It is a multi-religious country. So when people are placing arguments and using religion as the backbone, I'm worried about that. I am also worried about the fact that we are making it seem like he is a hero of a certain group of people, and he is not. Because the truth of the matter is, I got into this conversation because of the health issues that a lot of little girls are facing, like VVF. There are so many hospitals in Nigeria that they are hiding from a lot of people that we have discovered, that these girls are dying by the number, and they are telling me that it is okay for it to go on just because a certain group of people feel that their religion should take over the whole thing, and I disagree with that. You know, and I hate it when the world seems to think that Nigeria is such a very horrendous country that we do not have laws. We do have laws. Some people have been quoting some deafening things from archaic years behind, and I don't understand it, because as it is, we have signed the Child Rights Act, we have the African Charter that we have signed, we have the Convention of the Rights of the Child that we have signed, and all of these have stated and stipulated that no child should be considered marriageable until she is the age of 18, and anybody who breaks the law should be punished. There are so many Muslims out there that I know personally that I have spoken to, and they still do not agree with this, because there is no way anybody can watch a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11 or 13-year-old being taken advantage of. That is sexual exploitation, that is child slavery,
right.
That is sexual abuse. That is what I say about it.
Okay.
And Stella, we definitely have people online that agree with you, but we're also hearing from Nigerians who say something like this. On Google Plus, Ahmed says, prostitution has become rampant in Nigerian society today. Many children are being turned to harlots, he says. Why can't anyone frown about that? Why only marriage? So Ishaq, I want to bring you in here, because on your webpage, your own site, which I pulled up on my screen here, you say that your group believes that honorable and dignifying child marriage is better than child prostitution. Are those the only two options that girls in Nigeria have, according to you?
Is that for me?
It is.
Good. First of all, I'd like to say that the issue of marriage in Islam, which we call nikah, is a matter of religion. It's a matter that affects the Muslims. If they are marrying, whether they matured, no matter the age, they are marrying Muslims. A Muslim man gives his child, his daughter, to another Muslim man. He didn't give a Christian's daughter to a Muslim. And that matter should end among the Muslims. You see, we are abusing religion. We are violating, we are infringing upon the Allah-given and fundamental rights of Muslims in this country, in Nigeria. You see, people are holding Muslims in contempt and in ridicule. This is ridiculous. Bringing, issues of religious practice, where Muslims should practice freely. There is religious freedom entrenched in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Section 38 of sections 1 and 2. Our marriage is our marriage. Our right is our right.
I just want to make sure that I understand you correctly,
Listen.
I just want to make sure I understand you correctly because we have a limited amount of time.
Let me put the record straight.
So I understand this, but it's a conversation that we do have to share. So hold on one second. If I understand you correctly, you're saying that this is Muslim business and anybody else should mind their own business. Am I understanding you correctly, Ishaq? Let me just put that to Aminu. Aminu, you heard what Ishaq was saying, that really this is about Muslims and Islam. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think that is a sort of mischaracterization of the whole issue. In as much as I respect Professor Akintola and Senator Yarima for their respective accomplishments in their various areas, one in the academia and the other in politics, I will disagree with them on this issue that nobody should talk about what happens in marriage. The Prophet ﷺ that we look up to in our practices as Muslims have ruled against issues like forced marriage. So if you are saying that we shouldn't talk about marriage, should we condone, for example, forced marriage? And the arguments you are making, I think, are the kind of things that Islam into ridicule. The house in which Senator Yarima is sitting, the Senate, was not established based on the provisions of Islam, was established by a constitution, and that constitution was not Islamic. So in as much as I want to agree with you that yes, we have right to practice our religion, yes, we have right to ensure that even the constitution itself mentioned that
Can I come in here?
Sure. Aminu, just take a pause.
Let me land. Let me make my point.
Okay, Aminu, if you could make it briefly if you can. Thank you.
In as much as we want to defend our religion, and we all do, I want us to understand that when it comes to issues of fundamental human rights, when it comes to issue of human development, all human beings are equal. I don't agree with Senator Yarima, who is saying that a man is better than a woman. A man and a woman in the Quran are all equal. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The better among you in the eyes of Allah is the most pious person who believes in God, not in terms of being a man or a woman. So I totally believe that if we really want to make progress on these issues, we have to stop dragging Islam and religion and making a caricature of it. It is exactly that kind of argument actually that gives the non-Muslims you are talking about room to ridicule Islam.
Right.
This is an issue of justice. This is an issue of development.
Okay, Aminu, take a pause. Let me bring in Stella, and then let me go back to Ishaq.
Absolutely. Can I come in, please?
No, I hear all of you. Let me just go around the table one moment.
I'd rather come in first. When he talks about violation of their rights to practice their religion, I'm very appalled at that, because the most important thing that we should be thinking about is the violation of the rights of the child, of these little girls, their welfare. They are the ones that are being exploited here. It has nothing to do with religion. And if you tell me that according to the constitution, you are quoting subsections that Nigeria supports the Islam religion, I agree with that. But Nigeria also supports Christianity, and it also supports the traditionalists. Now, as a Christian, we also have our tenements. We also have our laws guiding us as to what to do and what not to do. But we don't poach. We don't come and say the constitution should favor our religion. We don't ever do that. Because according to the Christians, in the Bible, it says that we are not even allowed to to go to court. We should take all our issues to the church. But we have to follow the Constitution, because if we continue to divide by religion, then why is there a need for Constitution or for common law? Why are we all together in a country being governed by a group of people whose first responsibility is to the people and the children, not to the religion? We don't make you a senator because of your religious background. We don't make you a president because of your ethnicity. No, we make you senators, we make you governors because your first responsibility is to the people.
Stella, take a breath.
Yeah.
Senator, go ahead.
Please, can I come in? Can I come in? Yes, I want to answer the lawyer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Lays zakar kal unsa, that man is not the same thing, woman is not the same thing with the man in the Quran. Secondly, the lady that is talking, she talked very well. She said Nigerian constitution, Nigeria is a multi-religious country. The same constitution provides in second schedule, chapter 1, item 61, that National Assembly cannot make any law regarding Islamic law and customary law. So constitution, we are following the constitution, but constitution had made ample provision for Islamic Sharia.
Okay, Senator, we have one more question from the community that we just want to fit into the conversation.
Well, there's a lot of talk of Islam here. Our community is weighing in. Saadullah says using Islam as your justification for what he calls pedophilia is the greatest disservice you could have done to the Ummah, he says, which is the Muslim community. But I want to pick up on something that was mentioned earlier and which we'll discuss in the post-show. L on Twitter says, Ahmed, speaking of Islam, Allah, God, blessed us with knowledge that increases with each passing day. Is the risk of fistula alone not enough of a sign for you? And there's a video comment along those lines. Senator, have a listen to this and quickly let me know your thoughts after.
Most Nigerians, the question that comes to their mind mostly range from the main reason behind the insistence on gay child marriage, when it has been unarguably proven that victims of this marriage are more susceptible to vesico-vaginal fistula.
He mentions fistula. Senator?
Yes, you see, what is happening in Europe and America?
No, but this is happening in Nigeria. This isn't happening in Europe or America. Today's discussion is on Nigeria.
Yeah, you see, the issue is...
Can you speak about fistula and can you speak about what you're doing in your state about it?
In Europe and America, it's 13 years and 14, 15.
Can we narrow the conversation down to Nigeria?
Why is this not a problem?
Can we narrow the conversation to Nigeria, not Europe or America? Can we do that, please?
No, I'm saying because I can do it, because you see, the most important thing is that people don't even understand what is our constitution talking about. The constitution made ample provision. What we are even talking about is removing a section of the constitution. This constitution was not made today.
In the closing minute
the same provision
of this part
exists
of
in
this
1979
program,
constitution.
I just have one more quick thought that I would like you to share with us. This seems to me, as we're having this discussion, that we have Nigerians who feel that early marriage is not the right thing. We have Nigerians who feel that early marriage is cultural and traditional. What thought do you want to leave us with as we go into the post-show? And I'm asking you here for a thought that literally is 1 or 2 lines, because we're right at the end of this program before we move into extra time.
I'd like to comment on the VVF. This is not fair.
Senator, I'm just going to ask the Senator and everybody else and our guests. We'll come back to you in just a moment. Senator, a closing thought.
Yeah, ask
one
me,
last
line. I'm waiting. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the conversation there for now. That delay between Washington, D.C. and Abuja, Nigeria, that is tough to work through. What is our community saying, Malika?
I think they're excited about the post show. There's a lot of heated questions and comments coming up, so
we'll see where that will take us with all of our guests. Let me just tell you about our next show, and that is about a racy condom ad in Pakistan that only aired for a few days in July. But we'll tell you why its impact is still being felt across the country. If you're interested in this conversation, I know you'll also be interested in tomorrow's as well. Stay with us. The post show is next to stream.aljazeera.com. See you online. Thanks for watching. Hello again, this is the Stream's online post show, and this is a show and a topic that definitely needs a post show. We are continuing our discussion on child marriage in Nigeria. Still with us, we have Ahmad Yarima. He is a Nigerian senator who supports child marriage and has an underage wife. Stella Damasus is a Nollywood actress. Ishok Akintola is a professor at Lagos State University, and Aminu Gamawa is a lawyer and doctoral candidate at Harvard University. They all have a terrific amount to share and talk about. So let me go back to Ishok. Ishok, I know you had a lot of thoughts and you were trying to clarify them, but time was tight in our main show. I wanted to jump back in with you. Where do you want to take us next? What's important for us to know?
I want to talk about this VVF matter.
Ishok, can I ask you to explain what VVF is, just for our audience who are outside of Nigeria? They may not be very familiar with it. So I know you're using it as an acronym. Would you explain what it is?
No, I don't. People know what it is. They've been talking about it.
All right, so then I am going to explain what it is.
Young women who are married, and you think it's medically unfit, but I know.
All right, so Ishok, let me just take a... Yes, you can speak, but I have to explain it for our international audience.
The health matter lies with the government.
All right, go ahead. I will explain it later. Audience, bear with us.
So, in America, in New Hampshire, legal marriage age is 13. In Venezuela, it is 14. In Equatorial Guinea, it is 12. And they don't complain about all these.
So you're reading off these ages, but they're not relevant to Nigeria.
A responsibility to take care of its citizens, the health issues. VVF should be tackled by the federal and the state government. They should know what to do.
Okay.
The Abuja Declaration says government should allocate 15%. You're not allowing me to talk. 15% to health.
Stella, hold tight. I need to create space for you to speak. Okay, thank you, Ishok. Stella, first of all, let's start off. Not everybody is going to know what VVF is. Would you explain for our audience?
Vesical vaginal fistula. This comes when a child who is not mature enough, whose organs are not prepared, whose pelvis is not prepared to handle a baby in her womb or in her pelvis. The process of labor, the pressing of the bladder, puncturing of the bladder, all of that, they have different types of fistulas. There are some obstetrics fistulas that you can have. And once you have that, it means that you have no control over your organs anymore, like your bladder. You start to pass urine without control. You have to carry a bag of pee. You can stand and laugh and you pee all over yourself, or you do the number 2 all over yourself. You are gone, you are gone. There's no cure for it. That is why I wanted to cut in, because he is saying that the federal government should sort out the issue of VVF. We can stop the process of that VVF if they stop marrying these little girls. That's what I'm saying. It can be prevented. We do not have to add more pressure and more problems to what Nigeria is already facing.
Can I come in here?
By giving out little girls for marriage and getting them pregnant.
You see,
why am I don't need to talk to the Americans. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm not American. I'm Nigerian. And this is a Nigerian.
Bear with me one moment, so I can clear some space.
This is a Nigerian issue. It is not America, it is not Europe that we're talking about. We're talking about our own children. I'm not talking about Equatorial Guinea, I'm not talking about any other place, but Nigerian children that should be protected.
Okay, Senator.
Find out from hospitals. It is
the
size of the waist of the girl or a woman.
When was the last time? When did you go to the hospital?
Tight one moment, because there's a delay between you and the senator. So just sit tight for a moment, Stella.
Femi, I'm sorry, but there's something that is worrying me in this case.
Okay, I understand, Senator Stella. I'm just going to ask you to pause for one moment. Both of you pause 1 moment. Because I can't hear both of you, because we have a 5-second delay, so you're not even speaking at exactly the same time about exactly the same thing. So Stella, just hold tight 1 moment. We have a delay with Abuja. Senator, can you respond to Stella about the young girls in Nigeria who may be having sex too early?
I'm just telling her that BBF problem has been proven that it's not as a result of this, of the girl, whether she's a child or she's a woman. You have a 30-year-old, 40-year-old woman who has a very tight waist, and she has problem with BBF. You have a 12-year-old girl, whether in Nigeria or abroad, that delivers very well without any problem. Just like my wife, she delivered at the age of 15. And she has a very good, beautiful baby boy, and there was no problem. The issue is health problem that is caused by lack of attention by the governments.
Okay, well, speaking of those health problems, Senator, we have some questions here from our community, from Nigerians, from others to you directly. Roger on Twitter says, how will you, Mr. Senator, deal if girls die in giving birth because of their early marriage? And there's also a video comment. Senator, have a listen.
Hi, I would like to ask the Senator whether he values girls' education and the rights of girls to pursue careers and higher education. And I would also like him to comment on whether he is aware of the links between child marriage and infant and maternal mortality. Thank you very much.
So she mentioned several things in that video comment, including girls and their education, and also the links between infant mortality, maternal mortality, and young age. So, Senator, you are a senator of a northern state.
Education.
What is being done in your state to address those two issues?
Yeah, you see, in my state, when I was the governor of Zamfara State, I established what I called School for Continuing Education. If you go there today, you find married women graduating from universities after completing their normal conventional primary and secondary education. So marriage does not stop girls from continuing their education. And the issue of childbirth, as I said, is attributable to lack of medical facilities in all these villages. I still have to mention the issue of Europe and America, because their problem in UK, for example, is girls giving birth at the age of 12. And that's why they lowered the age of going to pharmacy and buy contraceptive to the age of 12, so that they can reduce the instances of having problems with childbirth. So I don't believe that childbirth is the cause of infant mortality, whatever it is.
I want to add that, excuse me, can I come in here? I want to add that as a human rights activist, as the director of the Muslim Rights Concern, Murik, I want to say it is an infringement upon the Allah-given and fundamental rights of Muslims, in Nigeria in particular, for us to be discussing the issues of marriage, our rights to marry, because in Islam there is no marriage age. And Senator Yarima is being profiled. Senator Yarima, is being intimidated now, only that he refuses to be intimidated. And I want to say he should be left alone, and every Muslim should be left alone to practice his religion. Marriage is a private affair. And I am saying to even our lawyers in Nigeria, the human rights activists, they don't stand up to protect Muslim girls when they are oppressed in the schools, when they are not allowed to use hijab, when they are intimidated, when they are held in contempt.
Can I come in?
They are forced to remove their hijab. They are not allowed to take pictures inside the banks, inside offices. They are pushed out. They are asked to remove what they use to cover their head.
Femi, can you please redirect the way this conversation is going? Because I think we are missing the plot here.
I think we're missing
the point. We are missing the point. We are talking about rights.
I think we're missing. I understand. I take your point. Stella, hold tight 1 second. Aminu, stay tight 1 second. And the Senator as well. I just want to speak directly to Ishaq. Ishaq, we get your point. We understand where you're coming from. Let Stella respond. And I also want to bring Aminu in as well, because only one person can speak at a time. And our time is running away with us. Stella.
The truth is, nobody is intimidating anybody. I still insist, Nigeria is not an Islamic country. That is number one. Number two, you have a right to marry whoever you want to marry, as long as that person is not a child. Every child is protected by the law of Nigeria. Every child deserves the right to live free, to grow up and mature and go to school and make her decision as to who she wants to marry. Because these marriages are arranged. These children are sold into slavery. That is why a human being will pay $100,000 to buy a child, which is child slavery. How can a child of that age be able to withstand sex with a grown man that is old enough to be her grandfather? The lives of these little girls is all I care about, not your religion, not your type of marriage, not anything. But I am saying that if we do not put a stop to this, then we have an issue. We should stop making, excuse me, I'm not done. We should stop making this man a star, because that's what we are doing. It is not about the senator. It is not about the senator. It is not about his wives. It is about Nigeria. The truth is, The truth is, it is not about any man.
Senator,
it is not about the senator. He should not be made a star.
Stella, hold tight one moment. Can you finish your point in one line? Because
that's what I'm saying.
Everybody needs to jump in. Go ahead.
Exactly. My point is, this is not about the senator. This is not about his marriage. He is not a star here. The issue is the little girls that are being married off without their consent. Okay. Because this is definitely
Stella,
without their consent.
Stella, we get your issue. Thank you, Senator. Stella brought up $100,000, which is apparently how much dowry you paid or gave for your youngest wife. I just want to make sure that those facts are correct.
You see, this is why I said, this is why she's not a Muslim. She doesn't know what is Islam. And the Constitution of Nigeria provides for Islamic Sharia, for Islamic law, and protects the rights of Muslims and also the Christians. She's a Christian. I don't go to church. I don't believe in what they are doing in the church. So she should allow me to do what I think my religion allows me. And Nigerian law, why didn't she go to court?
All right.
She should take Muslims who marry Ali to court.
All right. So we hear where the impasse is
the Constitution of Nigeria prohibits National Assembly from making any law against Islamic law. Okay. National Assembly cannot pass any law, so Child Rights Act is only for Christians, it's not for Muslim Nigeria.
So Senator and Stella and Ishaq, we're going round in circles here. I hear all of your points. Malika, can you get us out of this circle?
I hope so. Well, Muslim, Christian aside, there's a tweet here from a Nigerian who says, Nigerians appear united with reference to seeking an end to child marriage. Only a select few, this person says, are averse to the cause. As we're seeing in this conversation, though, it is heated. So Aminu, I want to direct this next one to you. Ibrahim says, no amount of noise making will stop child marriage. Getting people to see the benefits of educating their girls would.
Yes, I have always been, and I am really disappointed. That is exactly the kind of conversation we are having in Nigeria about this child marriage. To listen to each other, to understand where we are coming from, and we keep talking with passion loudly without really addressing the real issues. Those who are advocating for constitutional reform, for legislation against child marriage, even if laws are enacted on child marriage, I recently participated in a research which studied the practice across West African countries. There are many countries that have laws against marriage, which stipulates age of marriage at 18, but because marriage is something that is mostly conducted at an informal setting, people find a way of going around these laws. My argument has always been education should be our priority. Senator Yarima and other rich Nigerians and politicians may not have problem marrying small girls or giving out their small girls in marriage because they can afford good healthcare services.
So Aminu, I'm just thinking about our international audience tuning in here because as you say, this is a debate that has been going on in Nigeria, and we've given our audience a classic view of this very passionate debate. Help us very quickly understand what happens next. We have the Senator, we have Ishaq, their point of view, we have Stella, and actually also many Muslims as well who don't believe in early marriage. So just very briefly, wrap it up for us so that we understand, in your opinion, where do we go next? We're at the very end of the program.
Can I come in here?
Nobody else can come in because I'm wrapping up the show. Aminu, go ahead.
My quick point is politicians should stop hiding under religion to pursue their own selfish interests. And education should be prioritized and should be made mandatory. Girls should be allowed to go to school, and the school should be made girl-friendly. And no parent should be allowed to withdraw his daughter from school while she is in primary or secondary school. And we should keep educating our population. Even if we enact laws, these laws may not be implemented if the people are not educated about the dangers of early and child marriage, especially the health implications, the social implications, and the economic implications. We all believe in our respective religions.
Thank you very much. I want you to finish your sentence though, but they're about to pull the plug on the internet. So do you want to just finish your sentence? A sentence? I don't want to leave you completely hanging. Go ahead.
I like to say that Islam does not oppose girl education. We support girl education. The education of girls is a priority. The Holy Prophet Muhammad,
I take your point. Thank you very much. I'm wrapping everybody up. Ishaq, I hear that.
You're not allowing arguments from our side.
I don't want you to. I understand your issues. You had
more than 5 minutes.
I'm not timing you. It's the points that are really, really important. And I have a moment where we can speak up to, and then they're literally going to pull the plug. Malika and I are going to be left just literally like this.
And in the dark.
And in the dark. So I'm going to wrap it up for now for here. But you know the conversation will continue at AJ Stream. I want to thank very much the Senator, for Ishaq, for Stella, and also Aminu as well. The conversation will continue online as always. It started before us. It will continue way after this particular show. Let me tell you about what we're doing next. A racy condom ad in Pakistan only aired for a few days in July, but we'll tell you why its impact is still being felt right across the country. Right now, we see you online. You know what we're going to be discussing online, don't you? We'll be talking about early marriage in Nigeria. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Take care.